Welcome to the Vibrant Living Network. Have you ever wondered what is possible beyond possible? What is the thing you've been wondering and inquiring about? Are you just feeling stuck and don't know why? Are you thinking or are you seeing? Seeing allows us to expand and have this other experience. We want to invite you for that wake-up call. We want to invite your spirit, your soul, so to be more alive, more connected. Glenn Brooks has been a life coach for over 33 years, author of Divorced to Patterns, Not Each Other, an explorer of what is possible. He has worked with people all around the world. Join us for a wake-up conversation, a dialogue with you. We will have some of the most interesting contributors. We will be talking to some of the most interesting people and have some of the most resourceful teachers, wisdom-filled people from around the world join us. Share your voice, ask the questions, become free of the known into a new world of possibility. We are going to talk about all the things you wonder about: how to live, how to heal, how to connect, how to love, how to be seen. Your life is precious. Enjoy it.
Welcome. Wonderful having you with us. I'm Glenn Brooks for the Vibrant Living Network. We'll make rounds first. I want to warmly welcome Janet Carafa, who disappeared, but it's going to lead to an amazing story that I want to share with you guys. So welcome, Janet. Welcome.
I didn't disappear. Aloha, everybody. Mine disappear. Yeah.
I want to welcome Sherry Marquez, the dog mystics, with us today in house. I want to welcome Dr. Gail Randall. Deeply. I was going to give Lisa a doctorate, but she hasn't had a doctorate, so she's Lisa LaRose, non-doctor, major contributor, producer. She's with us today, Lisa LaRose.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Okay. I think I handled that part. I want to say that Tom, this feature. Actually, let me tell you guys a story first. I want to tell the story because I'm so happy to hear Janet's voice. I was out of touch with Janet for 2 weeks, and it was a tough 2 weeks. I thought, what did I say that caught Janet? It must have been that line. And then I got to admit, he would say to me, what did you say to insult Janet? And I was kind of like, well, the other day I called Janet up because I had called Chris, and I said, we're going to publish this article that Janet Croft was going to write on going to Carnegie Hall. And Janet's performed at Carnegie Hall. She's a world-class mime, yoga teacher. We've been doing this live segment from Kauai. So what happens is how did the sequence go? So I hadn't heard from Janet, and I don't know how this. I know. I'm sorry. I get a call from Hawaii yesterday. Actually, Yom Kippur. No, I got a call. I get a call from Hawaii. I've been getting calls from David from the Kauai Writers Conference. That was one call because we want to have a follow-up with David from the Kauai Writers Conference because we want to come there with our Vibrant Writers next year. So what happens is I get a call from Hawaii. I totally forget about a call that I had with Matt about these essences, these I guess indigenous sustainable oils from the Big Island. And I had a conversation with him that was a very pleasant conversation, but I didn't take note of it. It wasn't remarkable. Everything's remarkable, but it wasn't distinctly remarkable. But I get this call, and I think it's Janet. And so the first thing I say to the other imposter, who I think is Janet, I say, Janet, I'm so really happy to hear from you. And the other woman who I think is Janet, she sounds like Janet, her name's Mary Ann, she says, I'm so happy to call you. And I said, Janet, we're going to really get this article published in OMTimes magazine. And she's so grateful because Mary Ann says to me, I've wanted to write a magazine article. She goes, that's amazing. And I'm still thinking it's Janet. And I said, Janet, are you really, really good right now with me and everything? And she says 100%. And I was thinking, this sounds great because I've missed Janet and I wanted to, feel the vibe, feel the connection. And so I want to say today, as I speak to you guys, when I teach this course with Dr. Gail Randall, Healing Beyond Belief, we're going to give away, because Mary Ann owns a place in the Big Island called the Dragonfly Inn. The Dragonfly Inn. It's called the Dragonfly Inn because there's tons of dragonflies there. So if you guys go online and put the Dragonfly Inn, We're going to give away a couple of spots. You've heard it? I've heard of it too.
Yes.
All right. So what I wanted to do in this segment, and since Tom's not with us from the tourism department, I'm going to talk about the power of a third, with you guys, the power of a third place, So the third place in my life has been Vermont. And when I was in Vermont 20 years ago, I was on a call with many journalists, and one of the journalists said to me when I was in Vermont, he said, you're the man who gets paid to go on vacation. And I thought about it, and I realized it was true, because when I consulted or coached or conducted, I help people conduct their voice and their bodies, and long distance even. So I began to, when I became the man who gets paid to go on vacation, I met with the former president of the Mercedes-Benz Club, and I said to him, Jim O'Sullivan, I said to him, I want to be able to, I want to do something very different. I don't want to talk, I want to talk about the cars, but I want to talk about living our lives from the perspective that we own these Mercedes-Benz, our bodies. And he said yes, and it was, so Vermont has been this miraculous place. So here's my mission with Vermont. And also in conjunction with my mission in Vermont, we got places like Hawaii. We got places all over the country. We're going to keep deepening our connections to these places. These are vibrant places, people. These are places that I call third places. So a third place is a place that's different than home or work, where you could wake up to something new. And as I've said different times, that we could have this experience of a forward and a retreat. Because when I went to Vermont, I would become aware of things. The Green Mountains would inspire me. It would inspire my family relationships. And so I used to go up to Vermont regularly, and I gave away vacations in Vermont. We're going to give away vacations in Vermont to other places like New York, all around the country. So Vibrant Vermont launches as a weekly show. We'll be featuring vibrant chefs, vibrant authors. We'll be putting together the Vibrant Speaker Summit there. And I'll be broadcasting live from one of the most green, clean cities in the country. That in terms of yoga, there's tons and tons and tons of yoga studios. It's just an incredible city that has people come from around the world. It's a destination. Burlington is a destination, along with Stowe. Stowe's the kind of town I think they're going to have a huge film festival. So I want to acknowledge my partnership with Vermont Tourism, and also all the wonderful people through the years that I've had a connection, all the places that have invited us to come, the different inns. And again, we'll be giving away vacations. We'll be sharing the culture of Vermont. The rebranding Burlington is a holistic town, so we'll be doing a lot of live remotes. And I'll be actually doing vibrant matchmaking in that town during the filming of the movie The Announcement. You guys curious about the movie The Announcement? I figure I might as well talk about it. We'll be beginning the filming of the movie and the auditions for the film The Announcement with my acting teacher, Eric Morris, who tells me that he always says to me about acting, and that acting is really all about just being in the feeling of the character. Being the feeling of the character. My daughter rolls her eyes. My daughter's on the way to Santa Fe right now. She has filmed something that's so amazing. It's called I Love Leisha, and it's like a retro. It's back in the time they filmed I Love Lucy, but totally modern. It's out of this world. So I did a series with Desi Arnaz Jr. because I said acting is all about. Funny enough, acting in some ways, the worst thing a character could do is act the character. It's really feeling the character. So I'm holding these auditions for people in the film, and I'm just so excited to watch people. When you hold an audition, you get to see someone play that person, or if you will, feel the character. So it's quite a learning thing, and I'm honored to be working with the city of Burlington, to be filming on the streets, and to feel their tremendous support. And Tom called me early this morning. He's from the tourism department, and he told me his voice was incredibly scratchy. I said I was going to film this segment anyway to announce Vibrant Vermont. But our vision is to have cities like Hawaii, like we were on a year and a half in San Francisco. We want to basically highlight places and how you could become more vibrant. The film, okay, I'm going to tell you guys how the film came to be. How the film came to be, The Announcement. The Announcement is about the life of Gordon and Diana Banks. And these characters came to me my medicine, the medicine I practice from my teacher who just passed away, Dr. Gerald Epstein, he's probably the number one person in the world around imagery and medicine. His new book's coming out, which is called "We're Not Meant to Die." He just passed away. Kind of a strange, kind of a spiritual twist of things. But he was someone that impacted me. So what happened was when I was going through my own experience of separation with my wife, Donna Brooks, I had my imagery had frozen. I want to ask this as an open question for the panel here, my Vibrant Living team. So what happened during this time, I went to a parade one day, and I realized during this period, this is about 8 years ago, I just missed Donna so much, and I was so sad that I couldn't feel the colors and the energy of the parade. So I had that happen for like about a year and a half, and people would say to me, "Well, you're like a founder of you're a pioneer in coaching," and all the things in my life that I did before that would make a difference didn't make a difference. So, and we're going to open this up as a question. So what happened was I started to practice what Gerald had suggested I do. So what he suggested I do, and I could suggest this to you guys, is to sit in the verticals, to sit in an easy way, to sit as tall as you can, and exhale 3 times. So when you exhale 3 times, you reset your breathing mechanism, and you allow the imagery, or the energy, if you will, from the tree of life. So we live in the tree of knowledge, which we've been in the tree of knowledge, and then the tree of life is sort of where we see new things, and we become anew. And so I started to see this film in Technicolor. And then I would lay back at night because it would come again in Technicolor. And I would see the scenes in the film in Technicolor. And I would go, my body would move, my body would be in resonance with the imagery. Like I could take, like as an example, my cells in my body changed. The movements of my breath changed. And when I woke up in the morning, it was summer, the people around me started to reflect the imagery. Like the way they stood around me, the way they came around me. And I said in the beginning, I had lost touch with the kind of the wonder of life for a year and a half in chronological time. But now I could start to see the color of people. And particularly with couples, because the whole film is really about this idea that that we have this thing called divorce, which is kind of a made-up thing. It's a legalistic thing. But really what's beyond that is this other thing called love and deepening that love. And so the film is about, it's this idea that this couple somehow goes past everything to remarry. And it's a story of how that happened, the movement, how that happened. And I prepped for this imagery that transformed my life and gave me the vision for the film by this exercise, which is, and this is referenced different places, that when we revision something, when we see it differently, we change what they call the holographic field. We shift things. Some people call this also the parallel universe. And when you shift it, it unfolds in this world in a different way. How do I deal with the explanation, by the way? So I want to ask you guys about using imagery, because that's what opened this film. And as I traveled, like when I was at Harvard and I stayed at this green hotel, I told some of the staff members who were wonderful to me at this hotel, and I asked if they wanted to be in the film, because every time I would travel, I thought, oh, this would be a great place to shoot a scene. And, boy, you talk to people about a film, they get so open. They become like little kids. So we're filming the announcement mostly in Vermont with some other potential places. And I'll be shooting the film totally based on this imagery. Now, when the cast of characters come in, I'm going to open the question up to you guys. I'll do it right now. I'd like to hear how this is – I'd like to hear about your experience with imagery in terms of a new life, and I want to ask all of you, if you use imagery on a regular basis, I just want to get your thoughts about imagery, breath, a new way of seeing things, and living in the tree of life. That's a big question. So that's my open question to the Vibrant Living panel, who committed their whole lifetime to being in Vibrant Living. That's how they became Vibrant Living team members, by the way. So panel?
I was particularly impressed with what you said about how it changed your molecular structure. These images changed your molecular structure. It felt to me, it was so mystical. It was like a dream. It was like a dream, like you were dreaming it. And then after dreaming it changed you in the way that you perceive things and gave you a new vision. because I work in the dream, and I was very moved by that. And those of us that are dreamers, and you're a dreamer in your own right, know that you have to follow your dream. You have to do what that dream tells you to do, or you're going to be in big trouble with
I never heard it expressed that way.
But I think so. I just love the way you're going to see that through your vision, your dream vision, and it made me see it. I felt the vibrancy of that. I could see the colors, everything. So thank you.
Yeah.
Well, where you're in the dream. What's really interesting is, I thought, and it's beyond thinking, but my new life began probably when I had. And then I wrote a piece called "Divorce the Patterns on Each Other," and it's so beautiful. This sounds funny. When I read it, it inspires me so deeply. So what happened was, I thought this awakening, this relational awakening, and my language began to change. I never called Donna my ex. I never saw her in a way that was anything less than divine and totally family. So I never used the language. What I noticed happened with many, many people who had breakups and split-ups, and this is why I started to write this book that really came to me based on a lot of incredible research, but also mystically, Divorce the Patterns on Each Other, because I realized that once you start to use the language, and I call it the language of the graven image, the language of death, the language of separation, you kind of conform to that or lose the tree of life seeing. So it's hard for you to see yourself with that person because you've made him an ex. So I've never done that in my own life. And then I started to realize what I really want to do. Another thing I wanted to do from this was, and I'm going to do this in Vermont, is to do vibrant matchmaking, which I learned from my imagery. And it's beyond dating, because I think dating gets in the way of deep love and connection. So what happened was, and this is how I met Dr. Gail Randall, I really felt my whole life shifted, and I had no idea it would shift again. I didn't realize, because when I had that relational awakening, and also I want to say another dimension is other people. So other people with their awakening and their relational intelligence, that we come together, like my experience with this woman, Marianne. I love you, Marianne. I'm going to give out Marianne's information. So you guys should look up the Dragonfly Inn, because we're going to give out a vacation, and also you should learn about her wonderful products, including the sandalwood, which is indigenous and sustainable. And Marianne told me she wants to come on and share the language of the trees and the wonder of the trees and how this came in her life. And of course, I get to introduce her to Janet, because I kept saying to her, I said, "God, you're not Janet." It was very funny. So yeah. So what happened was, I went through another period of time where I felt I wanted to express the film. I wanted to do it in Vermont. And then I kind of felt I wanted to open up Vermont in this really deep way. And but I went through another period of feeling a little stuck. Now, what's fascinating about this is, when I first spoke to Dr. Gail Randall. Now, a lot of you guys know the story, but I called her 100% out of a signal, a mystical signal. I just felt, as soon as I saw Dr. Randall's picture, I knew I was supposed to call her. No linear background. I never knew anybody around her. I didn't even hear about her, but I just thought, oh my God, I'm supposed to call her. And I know that I want you guys to realize in the healing path, the unexplainable is part of the path. So the unexplainable was, I called up her office, and I had this experience that scared the heaven out of me for the best way I can describe it scared the heaven out of me for at least 6 or 7 weeks. I had this experience. I went to this doctor who I thought was going to be part of my team, and I went to see him, and he had said something to me that I didn't feel God breathed my body for several weeks. So I get this phone call back, and it's Tony from Dr. Randall's office, and she says to me, she goes, "Do you have a moment to speak to Dr. Randall?" And I was like, my whole body said, yes, 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 yes. And I pulled over. And what Dr. Randall said to me, she said, "Oh, you were frightened." And I realized I went to another wave, another experience where I felt like I wanted to be closer into the divine, and I lost that. And Dr. Randall told me she'd love me on that call, and she told me she would take care of me. And then she followed up with this text that said, "I want to be the captain of your health ship." and I was just overtaken again. And so I want to just, my notation on that is that your healing and the tree of life in your the tree of life in your life could begin and ignite a whole new life in you at any moment. So don't ever live by pessimism, and realize that through these purification practices. Now I've been practicing with Dr. Reynolds for, I don't know, I'm going to guess the number. Dr. Reynolds always knows the number much better than me. I'm going to say 142 days we've been practicing together since I first had the Miracle at the Dumpster with her, which is what I call my first official meeting with Dr. Reynolds, is Miracle down by the dumpster, because I didn't want to be around any people because I'm going to bawl my eyes, I'm going to like cry, and I had to get away. And I didn't waste any time talking to Dr. Reynolds. It was no formality in that conversation at all. I told her everything, and it was immediately she was there. It was a blessed moment. Imagine a blessed moment where you could talk to someone, you don't got to say anything about yourself. You could just be like, my life's falling apart, this is happening, this is what's real, bang. I never really introduced myself to her, and she blessed me in. I like being blessed, and thank you for blessing me in.
You're welcome.
So yes, that was my second time in my life that I thought I was going to die.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And another person blessed me in. I thought I was going to die, and a new life began. And so things like what I call the Vibrant Living Challenge, which is a challenge I'm going to teach with Dr. Gail Randall. I'm calling this part of the course Healing Beyond Belief, which is the experience that I had with Dr. Randall. Because I realized that my belief wagon got so shook up, and when it got really shook up, you would shake those things. I forgot. What's those called, Janet? When you shake those things up, you shake them up, and you look at them through one eye. What's that called? You know what I mean? You shake it up. You shake this thing up. Lisa, open question here. A spiroscope?
Kaleidoscope.
No. Kaleidoscope. Thank you. Yeah. Kaleidoscope.
Yoga.
No. I always would go to you on the Jeopardy panel for yoga. You're like Yoga Jeopardy, but I thought you had a feel because of a mind. You would know. So I shook that up. That's what happened. I was so shaken. So now. So what happened was I stayed in really great touch with Dr. Rana when I was at this incredible Kundalini Yoga event. And I kept thinking to myself that what helps people resolve. So the three greatest healers in our life are imagery, touch, and breath. Right? So another one, which I always knew was profound because the ancient civilizations did it, was shaking. So I go to Satnam Fest, and I'm in good touch with Gail, and I go into this tent with 300 people, and I meet this teacher like I've never met before. Her name's Guru Nook, and so she has us do this exercise, this wiggle exercise, and I swear this hadn't happened to me like this before. But then I started to have my whole body wiggle in a way I never wiggled before, and then she yelled into the mic. She said, "Wiggle when you're on your back wiggling. A wiggle for someone who's in a hospital bed who can't wiggle." And I thought, oh my God, this is relational prana, and I couldn't believe how much I loved Guru Nook. So I go back to see Guru Nook the next day, and I'm sort of a little inhibited because it's going to be 2 hours of crazy movement and dancing, and then I was standing outside the tent thinking like I think I'll observe this one. And as I was standing outside the tent at Satnam Fest, this woman reached her hand out, and I came in the circle. And then I looked down, and for the first time in my life, I looked down, and my body was moving and dancing like I never, ever had done that before. I never had my body moving that way before. And I felt like, wow. So I guess what I would say about the imagery and being in Vermont awakened my heart. It's one of my deep, deep third places. And again, a third place is a place that, is beyond humble work. It's a place I want to bring many, many people. It's an incredible destination place. I feel the same way about Hawaii. I feel the same way about the L.A. area because, Dr. Randall's there, my beloved daughter Lisa and Sean's there, her partner. So I guess what I'm kind of saying to you guys is that there's this nonlinear song in our lives that's there, and it becomes this relational song. See, I used to think we came to sing the song that's in us. And now I think it's this relational song that we sing to each other beyond our words and our linear constructs. We sing the song to each other. and our cells changed, and they danced that song with us. And that's what, really, that's the wonder of a third place. And this one guy called me up, and we had him on. I forgot his name now, but he talked about, I gave a whole talk on how to go beyond your linear thinking. So I'm going to open up the panel question again. And I want to say, God, let's just open it up again. You're listening to the Vibrant Living Network with the Vibrant Living team who've dedicated their lives to be vibrant journeyers and relational geniuses, and I'm with them on the panel. What's bubbling for you guys? By the way, I love what you said, Gail. That was so beautiful and touched my cells deeply. I think confirmation allows us to step into the miraculous because the community gets behind us.
Well, I mean, one thing that I can, this is Sherry. So one thing that I can definitely say that's powerful is, even though you are divorced from Donna, that you never have called her your ex-wife. Whereas there's just so many people, including myself, that call their ex their ex-husband or their ex-wife, and it's just like, all right, the relationship is over, and I can't even imagine being with him again. So, I commend you for having, just having the deep respect for Donna, and I think that's awesome. I really do.
Yeah.
So,
well, just to say a quick thing about. So in my heart, that doesn't live by legalistic standards. I don't even relate to the idea of divorce. It just seems like a bizarre concept. So in my heart, I never use the word divorce. I only called my book Divorce to Patterns Not Each Other as a way to invite people in because I knew heartbreak was. So I said a moment ago that imagery, breath, and touch are the three most powerful healers. I want to get you guys. I want to hear what you guys feel they are. And then I would say shaking is number 4, by the way. And, of course, food. But I guess we're going to continue. We're going to continue. Oh, anyway, the bottom line is, in my heart, divorce doesn't exist at all. And I'm so blessed to feel Donna's still a family member, and it's way beyond We'll continue with the Vibrant Living Network in a moment with the incredible panel, hear what they have to say.
The Real Conscious Connection. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM. Host your show on IOM FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community.
Conflict comes in many forms and often triggers a fight-or-flight response. Some of us gravitate toward conflict, while many will stop at little to nothing to avoid it. Unfortunately, what we resist will persist, which often forces us to face our fear and deal with it head-on. Join me during my show, Conflict Rising, as I discuss the important role of conflict with leaders who have moved through it successfully. Tune in Thursdays at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember, it's always darkest before the dawn.
Opiates has taken everything and everyone I've ever loved away from me. Everything.
I blew my ankle out and I got prescribed pain pills by my doctor.
If making my detox public is going to help somebody, I'm all for it. I just wish I would have had a warning.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth. A message from Truth, the Ad Council, and ONDCP.
You're listening to the Vibrant Living Network. I'm Glenn Brooks. We've got the Vibrant Living team in-house today. We're going to turn to them in a moment. I want to let you guys know I'm really blessed to be working with Chris and the wonderful OMTimes Radio Network. Our partnership is bringing forward the Vibrant Living Network and potentially the Vibrant Living magazine. I'm deeply appreciative. Sherry, I love what you said. When you were speaking to me, I had a laugh, and I'm so moved by what you said, Dr. Randall. Thank you deeply. I love your listening and what you mirror back to me so much. And Lisa, thank you. So this is what I go.
I can't hear you. The mute button has been pressed, probably.
You are so psychic. It's ridiculous. That was true. It was the mute button.
Marion.
Okay, so when you were speaking, Sherry, I have this one family member, and how she expresses it to me, she goes, what did she say? So something, she goes, everything was going well until you started getting weird, or you started acting weird. And so I got to realize I got to translate languages sometimes, because I got to bridge reality with people, because so we, sometimes, anyway, that's really funny. That I appreciate you saying that. So let's get that. I want to go around. So I said the three greatest healers in our life are imagery, breath, and touch. And there's some others, but those are primary. Those are the. I want to ask you, Lisa. Let's ask Lisa, and then we'll go to the dog mystic. And then we're going to give you some exercises from the dog mystic that you could practice with your dog. And we're going to open up with a breathing exercise. But first, let's go to Lisa, because we didn't hear much from Lisa today. She's been off. I believe she's off painting right now, because she's an amazing artist. And for my birthday last year, she made a relational phoenix, which I so love her for. I'm going to be posting this relational phoenix, which she gifted me last year. So thank you. So what are you thinking about? What's your alive thinking about? I like that question. What's your life thinking about?
All of you are speaking, where my mind goes in relational, is infinite potential, love, magic, miracles, and joy, and of course wonder. And I think that being a part of this team it brings in all of those. And every challenge has a blessing in it, and I think that when you embrace that, and no matter what it is, tomorrow's a new day, and I think that Glenn, you embrace that. I know that both Sherry and Janet, and also Gail, there's lots of things that kind of will throw each one of us off track, but you take a moment to breathe, and you center, and you navigate through, and everything always seems to work out okay. And I think, with all of the different challenges that we are brought forth in the media and in relationships and whatever, when you take that moment to breathe together and to just really embrace the wonder of what is going to unfold, and not have any expectations, and just really be open to those miracles. I think that's what bubbles for me when you speak about that, and I'm sure that with the film, the announcement, there'll be lots of that. There'll be lots of unexpected magic and miracles as we explore.
We'll see if we can get Donna to have a cameo in the film for sure.
You never know.
If she's speaking to me, we'd love to see her in that. I love Donna so much. I said to a friend of mine yesterday, he said, well, he goes, I'm not sure I could be your friend and Donna's friend at the same time. And I said, well, it's like I would get up 3 a.m. to be there for Donna. So, I'm sorry. By the way, I just wanted to acknowledge this. Gail educated me to love into another level, because I realized part of healing, everything comes. I'm gonna give before I get into the breathing exercise for the dog mystic exercise, and I said this on the last show, but it's so dang relevant. Love brings up everything unlike itself. So I had a few cycles with Gail, Dr. Randall, where I'd be really upset, and it was like, so I would say when you get really upset, and maybe we should go on the circle. It's purification. So purification is when another way to look at this, by the way, is called the, what's the correct word here? It's the release phenomena. So shaking, by the way, I'm going to be teaching shaking with people as a vibrant movement instructor. So shaking is a way to get the nooks and crannies that's stuck in your system to free yourself. So I realized with Gail, to be loved so deeply by someone. And yeah, I never met Gail, but I never felt it was a locational thing. I felt in this lifetime I was supposed to meet Dr. Gail Randall, and she was supposed to share something way beyond what my mind understood, or what I could comprehend. So it was pretty. So I went through a phase of being upset with her sometimes, and then when I came out of it, I realized, God, I just love her so much. I went through a phase. So here's the thing: what I learned from one of my teachers. I'm just going to share this with you guys. what he said to me one day, he says, why do you think people bring up all these traumas and get free around me? And I said, why? He said, because he said he spent years releasing stuff from his birth. So I realized the safer that we are around each other, the more sometimes things come up. But the upside of it is that you can be closer in love. I thought I would share that.
I told you this, Glenn, but I think other people need to know this. But my African friends shared with me throughout their culture, when people disagree, the friction of that disagreement is the lubrication for the relationship. And I'd like to add that when you really understand that you're connected to everything and everyone, and to other people all around you, it opens you up for a miracle. And I think that's part of healing.
Oh, it's that's beautiful. All right, so our breathing, our dog. I'm like.
You think you hit the mute again?
It's on mute again.
Metaphoric mute.
Waiting pushes me.
You know, we're going to teach this course called Healing Beyond Belief, and it's going to be about releasing old belief systems and emotional viruses that could be obstructing our flow of healing energy, and we'll do it through imagery, through breath, through touch, through movement, and changing people's perspective about their ability to not only heal but live, you know, the way that they're living, because we are all left with so many, if you will, viruses from our early childhood that maybe don't even belong to us, that came from our parents or came from our friends, that they told us something and we made it ours. And so we need to re-examine all those things and see which ones really do belong to us and live more authentically, and that frees you up to be able to live a better life, a more vibrant life. So that's the kind of thing we're going to be heading towards.
I love it. And so Marianne's going to give away a vacation. By the way, am I unmuted now, Sherry, since you have the muted listening today?
There.
Unmuted.
Hey,
I'm unmuted?
You're there. We can hear you.
All right.
We can hear you loud and clear.
Do you remember when I said to you on the conversation, I said that the dog mystic was on a plane with Lady Gaga, and what did you say? What did you say to that? What you said? Yeah, exactly. You were like, "Who's that? Who's that?" I said, "You."
Yes. Yeah. I can see it. I can feel it.
All right. So this exercise, it's from the dog. So Sherry the dog mystic has a series of exercises that bring you in touch with harmony and being in deep tune with your dog, which is the name of Sherry's book, which is on the dog mystic, and it's on being in deep tune with your dog. And so this morning, we came up with something so beautiful. So, okay, the exercise is this. You're with your dog, and you exhale. The worst invention ever was the car alarm, by the way. You know that, right? That was the worst invention ever. So you exhale, you touch your heart, and you focus on something you really appreciate about your relationship with the dog. Like you go beyond your busy mind. You feel your heart. You exhale. You feel gratitude. You feel appreciation. And then there's an imagery. So there's an imagery. There's something that's happened in that moment. And Sherry would say, so that throughout the day, when you're not around your dog, take that moment. Because when you walk your dog, you are now practicing these wonderful dog mystic exercises. And go ahead, Sherry. Go ahead. Welcome.
Thank you. Well, as your the explanation of what you always say to exhale. Well, when we exhale, then it just allows you to breathe deeper and just be more in tune with life in general, you know.
So what happens when you exhale? So most people are overventilating most of the time. So they're overventilating. So the exhale physiologically allows the body to rest, Because what happens on a good day, what happens is when you exhale, there's a pause, right? There's a mini pause, and then you begin to breathe again. So that's why when people say take a deep breath, it overventilates them. So the exhale, also spiritually, you're opening up this place where the tree of life could exist, a new beginning could exist. So as you practice exhaling, you'll start to notice changes. So just notice the changes. And so I tell my clients to exhale 3 times. And sometimes we use imagery. And I just love the idea of practicing this with your dog, because those are such precious moments. And since Lisa's got, all these dogs around her, and I didn't love it. Apparently, Dr. Randall's been both a horse trainer, a horse whisperer, and a dog whisperer. She's handled many healing fronts. And there you are, Sherry, writing this book that has these exercises. But that's the whole idea, that the exhale is the beginning. It's, in some sense, it's the beginning of life, because the exhale allows you for your divine inhale. So if that makes sense to you. What I'm saying is that most people are overventilated, but when they exhale, what's your comment, Gail?
Well, some people,
Dr. Randall.
they hold their breath.
They hold their breath. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, they hold their breath.
They stop
Yes.
breathing.
Yes.
We're born breathing. Babies, watch a baby.
Yeah.
Breathes in, the stomach comes out. When it breathes out, it goes down. And first of all, when we exercise, we do the opposite. But we'll stop knowing how to breathe, and we have to learn again from when we're babies.
Yes. Yeah. So the most undertreated illness on the planet is hyperventilation. Oh my God, I just said that. So it's really powerful. So hyperventilation. So when you're ventilating, you feel the divine breath, and every breath becomes a whole body massage. So your diaphragm goes to the bottom of your back, all through your shoulders, right? And so what most of aging, what people call isn't aging, it's more tension around the breath and then the whole body. So it's like you don't really feel like you want to live anymore. That's why you want to go to a life extension specialist. Who came up with that. My teacher used to call himself a life extension specialist, but it's Dr. Gail Randall on our panel. So, okay, dog mystic. Okay. So, right, so go ahead.
Thank you for that explanation of the exhale and the inhale and the breathing, the importance of breathing, just being aware of the breathing. So first, just a reminder of last week's exercise. Just be aware and in tune with your dog. Whether you're inside or you're outside, put your hand on your heart, exhale, which allows you to breathe deeply, and watch your dog or your dogs without allowing your mind to take over and start thinking about the past, the present, or the future. Just be in the here and now, just like the animals. The animals are here and now. They don't think about what's going on. They're in the present moment, and they're enjoying every moment. So for today, during the day when you are not with your dogs, like work, school, or at a doctor's office just waiting patiently, allow the imagery of your dog or dogs or the funny things that your dogs do to bring that smile on your face of remember that? Okay. Well, then you can, it's all about appreciating the dog's affection for you and the honesty of its presence, even though the dog is not there. So just think about how your dog will never lie or break you down, won't knock on your door with a debt summons or a divorce, pressure you to look a certain way or do things you don't want to do. So let's face it, pets are able to treat us sometimes better than people do. They're there.
Sometimes frequently.
My favorite quote is, dogs are eternal Peter Pans. They're like children who love and want to be loved, and will allow they're there to allow whatever is going to happen and allow the everyday lives of whether it's good or bad, Save the memories of your dog when they make you laugh or feel comforted. Don't think the exercise is too ridiculous. It's just the mental healing technique to and also like the reason why dogs exist. They're the therapy just to bring a smile to our face, to allow us to enjoy the present moment. And it's not only for dogs. I mean, it's for all animals. Animals are here to allow us to be in the moment and to enjoy the here and now. So when you're having a stressful day, just try to breathe, and even if you close your eyes and just be in the moment and feel their love. If you have a big dog, then you're feeling their 50 to 100 pounds of just weight just laying on you or leaning on you to almost knock you over. If you have a small dog, then you're just imagining them like in your lap or in your arms and licking your face and just to get you out of the moment, get you into a joyful moment. So these two exercises are some of the exercises that you will encounter at the Dog Mystic seminars. And
upcoming in Massachusetts, Western Mass.
Coming, yes. So, and there's plenty more. So,
all right, thank you, Dog Mystic. Thank you, and I'm so psyched to see you in person. We're going to drive up to Dog Mountain and take a video up there because people travel the world for Dog Mountain in Vibrant, Vermont. We'll do a live remote from Vibrant, Vermont, from the Dog Mountain. People come from all around the world to pay spiritual dues to dogs and what they mean on this planet. And they have a chapel there. It's Dog Mountain. Check it out, Dog Mountain. The funniest comment I heard yesterday about dogs, the funniest one, I was talking to Leanna. I call her the miracle woman of the horses. And she told me this story, Sherry and Dr. Randall and Lisa. She said she's sitting in a living room, and I guess she got some rescue dogs from Puerto Rico. And she had a local Rottweiler who she loves. And she said this one dog was going crazy, like, for the first, 7 days. And there was one moment the dog was going to go attack the Rottweiler. And she looked at the dog and said, she goes, that wouldn't be a good idea. I thought that was the funniest. The imagery of that I thought was incredibly funny. By the way, I love what Dr. Randall said about our course, Healing Beyond Belief. And I want you guys to check out the Dragonfly Inn because we're going to give away some nights there. We're going to award the exemplifiers. We learn the most in these courses from the exemplifiers. And Lisa, how did you like that exercise? You're around so many dogs. How did you like the Dog Mystics exercise today?
It's wonderful. It just made me think about, I've had some challenges. My partner's been in the hospital, so my days have been extremely long. And a friend of mine asked me, she said, you never sleep. I don't know, how do you do it? Like, it seems like you're existing on, you just keep going and working and whatnot. And I really think that it's taking that time for me in the evening when I do lay down to have my little ones and breathe with them, just like you're saying it. I kind of drop into that field. I really do believe that they help me heal, and they give freely of their energies to kind of just relax me. It's better than any meditation I could, So I'm anxious to attend one of your seminars, Sherry, and if somebody doesn't have a dog, I've got plenty to go around.
I love it.
And bring them in. So, please, that might be a great first experience for somebody who's never had an animal. There's lots of loving little ones that need homes. So, I'm never shy of finding a new home for a new loving home, for some of these dogs.
Let people know how they can contact you, and then we'll give out Dr. Gail Randall's Instagram. She's got so much brilliant stuff on her Instagram, and we'll give out all the info for the Vibrant Living team members. How can people be in touch with you if they want to adopt one of these dogs, Lisa, or just be in touch with you?
Actually, just even through my website at OneWisdom, ONEWisdom.org, or on my cell at 412-600-4366. I'm always
one more
looking,
time. One more time.
So it's
please.
412-600-4366. Thank you for that.
Yeah, you're really
welcome.
welcome.
Find house for some little ones or big ones, anyone's. There's lots of tender hearts that need somebody to love.
Dr. Gail Randall puts some of her wisdom on Instagram, and if you guys want to see some of these inspired pictures, moments, thoughts, Dr. Randall, how can people discover the online presence and what you're sharing on a regular basis, which you do in such an inspired way?
Oh, thank you. A couple places.
Yeah.
Well, my website, drgmrandall.com, and then my Instagram is easy, Dr. Gail Randall, and my Facebook is Dr. Gail Randall. So come and see.
I know when you see Dr. Randall's picture, you're going to say to yourself, didn't I see this picture before in the Mists of Avalon? That's what I saw when I saw Dr. Randall's picture. I thought, she's a heroic female character from another century, who's come back to share with us this ancient. You have such a you live in this world between being a UCLA professor, medical doctor, innovator, nutritionist, energy healer. Like you really are. You live Renaissance like it's just part of your being, and it certainly emanates in your picture. Profound.
Well, I've always had a foot in both worlds, Glenn, and that's maybe why I have such long legs. God gave me very long legs.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, Dog Mystic, how can people be in touch with the Dog Mystic? She'll come to your home. She'll make up the mystical remedy that will help you be in deep tune with your dog. She's coming here to Western Mass. She's going to come to different places in the country. We'll be sharing more Dog Mystic exercises. How can people be in touch with the Dog Mystic?
All right, so you can take a look at my website, which is smartpawsdogtraining.com. My Facebook is Smart Paws Dog Training, and my Instagram is Smart Paws Academy. So if you have any questions, think about it like this. One thing that I can definitely offer is if you have any questions, then from those questions, I can make a video and send it to send it to you and get your questions and answers and issues issues resolved.
The issue resolved section.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I love you brought up. I love that you brought up my relationship. I had the honor of sitting with Donna at Harvard University about a summer ago and watching her present on shaking off. Well, in my language, she didn't use this language. She was talking about how a different approach to Parkinson's, and it was such a beautiful presenter. So I met Donna at a health food store when she wrote an article about healing dysplasia with nutrition. And I knew I met someone that I would treasure forever, and I still do. And so I'm glad you mentioned her. Because I thought when that relationship went away, I thought I would dissolve. So I just want to thank all of you, because you all reflect new life and intelligence beyond what I have on my own. So I deeply love and appreciate you guys, who I call the Vibrant Living team members, including the reemergence of Janet Carafa today. So, and I appreciate, that was I really, honest to God, thought I blew that relationship temporarily. So that was very, I want to ask you guys, we were going a couple of minutes to go. Do you ever make up stories in your day, in your moments, that are incorrect, but you scared yourself with a story. I want to open questions to the Vibrant Living team members. Do you ever make up a story or tell you something that you find later like absurd, ridiculous? What's your experience of making up stories?
I'm not good at it, so I don't do it.
Well, good. I want to be not good at it. Okay. Dr. Randall.
Rarely.
Really? Wow, that's fantastic.
But I told you Janet was just busy.
All right. Well, I need to get bigger ears then, I guess. Okay. Bigger ears. Lisa. Bigger ears.
The show is what you listen to.
You know, I think what happens is I felt I said something that would trigger her. That's what it was. I thought, oh, Glenn, that one line you said to her, and, you know, but thank you. No, I honest to God, need the community. I need you guys to give me feedback.
Yeah, and my view on that is just don't do it. You know, when people, it's like that monkey mind that people get into that loop, and the next thing, you can't. You got to let it go and just trust.
It's rarely about you.
Yeah.
So your life's precious. Enjoy it. I'm Glenn Brooks of the Vibrant Living. I love my Vibrant Living team members. I love you guys listening. I do love Donna Brooks deeply. Appreciate you guys very, very much. And I appreciate Chris. Chris, you're such a wonderful human being in my life. Thank you.
OMTimes, thank you. You all. Have a wonderful day.
Love you guys. Bye.
Love you.